rock and roll band in the world, Penn and Teller.
Hey, Eddie!
I heard on it. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's
Who cares? Take the credit.
How are you?
Well.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, Eddie.
Yeah.
You're in charge of everything now.
I know.
Take it.
All right. How are you guys?
Okay.
50 years.
Long time.
I should have written this down. And, all right. Before you guys came to prominence, comedy magic was about like inept guys who fucked it up, right? Like Carl Valentine, Tommy Cooper, you know. Now, what is comedy magic? What do you consider comedy magic?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, most magic is comedy magic because the idea of doing real magic, the idea that wish fulfillment would be torturing women in a box is kind of insane. So you have to, also the idea that miracles would be real is also insane. So I think most magic is in some way or another comedy magic. But since, you know, Andy Kaufman and so on, the definition of comedy has gotten so broad, it includes anything odd.
One of the things that makes a magic effect powerful is when you present a cause and tie it to an effect that have no real connection in the world. And it's really a lot like a setup and punchline. Once you see this setup and this second element and they come together, audiences very often laugh even if the content is not connected.
Yeah. Well, a friend of mine once said that, you know, a lot of magicians, you go see them and they're doing sleight of hand with one hand and giving you the finger with the other hand. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm doing something, you know how I'm doing it, fuck you, you know. And I've always think that you guys don't do that, you know. And there's a central premise to what you guys have done that I think is really interesting, and I think we should talk about that, because I was reading an article about how you guys got together that Handsome Jack wrote, who's a magician. He wrote it in Genie magazine, and he said that one of the ways you lured Penn into the team, into the partnership, is that you said that magic is essentially an intellectual art form. And I guess that's, you know, from there it's just a quick leap to being the longest running act in Las Vegas. But a lot of people think, that you know, Las Vegas, they think it's schlock or it's kind of like, you know, crappy acts a lot of times. But I've always thought like what you guys did was the right move. You know, it was like you could have stayed in New York and LA and played the people who think the way you think and gotten pats on the head and been critical darlings. But playing in Vegas was really challenging because you're presenting, I've seen you act a lot of times in Vegas, and you never dumbed it down, you never pandered, and you presented really smart ideas to people who might not be planning on having smart ideas as part of their evening's entertainment. How did you think about changing the act when you moved to Las Vegas?
Well, we didn't. We have always just written the show in a certain way for ourselves. We've said, what would we like to see when we're out there looking at the show? And so every idea that we have is something that would please us. And somehow, and I don't really know why, somehow or other, a lot of people came along. And that includes people who go to Vegas. Also, the people who go to Vegas are the same people who go to Broadway shows. The people who go to Vegas, there's a universal thing going on now. We're one, well, we're two nations.
But there is a homogeneity throughout the country, you know. You have the same coffee shops, the same restaurants, the same everything, and people do move around quite a bit. As Teller said, now there's that incredible political divide. But other than that, the people are pretty much the same. Also, you know, we've never been cheerleaders, you know. We've always been freaks. You know, Springsteen's a cheerleader, Bob Dylan's a freak. You know, Springsteen's always saying, hey, we're all like this. We all feel this. And Dylan's going, I don't care what you guys are thinking, this is what I'm thinking. And I think that, to kind of go back to another question too, one of the reasons we're able to do comedy that's magic, is that I don't think people are laughing with us, they're laughing at us. We have very serious ideas, we believe in our heart, and we go out and people laugh, and good, who cares? But we believe it sincerely. We very rarely, and you know this, we very rarely do irony or satire. We're not good at it. But the few times we've tried it, we've sucked. We pretty much say what we really, really believe. And people find that funny because I guess we're crazy.
Or in my case, we don't say what we really
Miller, loyal member of the Sunday school congregation here. So I wanted to ask, so after Moxie fooled both of you, was there any thought about her joining your group?
You know, I don't want to, and also Moxie prefers he and him. But Moxie, to me, and I'm no judge of this, but other people have told me, is a very funny, very confident, very skilled magician. But I don't know what it's like to grow up with your dad in the same field. So he is very interested in theater tech and wants to do magic as a hobby. I mean, Dan Aykroyd was just out here saying, working with your children. I have done magic with Mox on stage, but he seems to be much more interested in theater tech and that kind of stuff. And I think that, I mean, I can quote Elvis Costello a little bit. I think Moxie has the symptoms, but not the disease.
And when Moxie, the night that Moxie came out, both of our jaws dropped, I believe, more deeply and more amazingly than any magic trick that could have been done on the show. It just knocked us dead.
Yeah, and very naturally good. And I'm also proud to say Mox was so bad in rehearsals that they almost cut him, and that's where I rehearsed too.
I heard that Chris Angel has a question.
You rarely speak, and I'm curious if that's granted you any kind of different perspective on things, if it felt unnatural or like a strange adjustment at first, and if it's I don't know, I guess how it's affected you in the way you perform and just, I don't know.
I do. You say you don't know, I do. My not talking on stage was pure rebellion against Adder, because I kept seeing the magicians, anytime magicians did a trick and talked, they were always doing things like saying, I'm holding a little red ball now I'm placing it in my hand, oh, now I'm squeezing it, and now it's gone. That seemed terribly redundant. And it's also the magician is lying to the audience at that moment, everything he's saying is a lie. So I thought it would be more interesting to try to teach people to lie to themselves. And to teach people to fool themselves. And so that's the way I had been thinking about that before I had ever met Penn, before we had ever conceived of this act. Then, of course, in the course of doing that, I had the interesting experience of learning that if you are silent with an audience and you think very clearly about the plot that you're doing, the audience will sort of read your mind. I mean, they will read your body language, but they'll read your mind. And there's an incredible intimacy in that. I mean, if right now, in the middle of this, I go, doesn't that get sort of sexy? So then I run into a man whose ability to speak about things in interesting ways, in interesting, non-conventional ways, is beyond anything I could possibly hope for. And that worked out pretty well.
Thank you very much.
We're not supposed to do this with a child, but since you're next in line, do you know the names of cards?
Yeah.
Do you know all the suits of cards and the names of them?
Yeah.
Come up here. Come here, come on. Hi, what's your name? Say again? Hello, Gabriel. Nice to meet you, Gabriel. Are we going to be able to do it with Gabriel? I think it'll be a little tough. You'll have to squat down a little bit, Gabriel. Gabriel, now I want to tell you, we're going to do a card trick for you, okay? And Teller just has been doing card tricks. They're always on his mind. Do you do magic at all? A little bit. So you know what that's like. When Teller was 5 years old, how old are you? 10. When Teller was half your age, he got a deck of cards from his parents. And he became obsessed with them. They became his friends. He bonded with them. And ever since then, he's always had a deck of cards with him, always. You see him in civilian life, like in a restaurant or an airport, he will have the deck of cards with him, Gabriel. Now, Gabriel, Teller's going to introduce you to his cards. It's a little creepy, but stay with me. Now, Gabriel, if Teller had you pick a card, you would know that he was doing some sort of trick. Because he's been doing magic 10 times, oh no, not 10 times, 5 times longer. And if we had you look at a card, magicians know that they can kind of track your eyes. We can see within 2 or 3 cards what you're looking at. So the best way is just to think of a card. Don't move your lips, don't say it aloud, just think of a card. Got a card in your head? You got a card in your head? Okay, good. Now, every card will be represented by 2 pieces of information, okay, Gabriel? You've got the value and the suit. The value is ace to king, which is just 1 to 10, and then J, Q, or K. Do you understand that? Jack, Queen, or King. And then the suit, each one has a different initial letter. Okay, so clubs would be C, hearts would be H, spades would be S, and diamonds would be D, right? There's only 2 pieces of information you need. So if you were thinking of the 6 of diamonds, you would just do a 6 and a D, and everyone knows what card that is. If you were thinking of the king of clubs, just do a K and a C. Everybody knows what cards you're thinking of. Do you have your card represented in your head by 2 pieces of information? You have that clearly? Now, I told you that Teller always had cards on his mind. You're going to write the name of your card on his mind. Right on his forehead, right there. Okay, Gabriel? Now, Gabriel, time and genetics have given you an ample canvas. If you come to see us in a year, you can write a whole royal flush up there. Okay? We're going to write it right up here. Now, Gabriel, we did this trick a few times before, and someone told us that she had figured it out. She was wrong, but it still bothered us. It was like a stone in our collective shoe. What she said was that Teller could feel the ink on his forehead. Feel the ink. Read it with his skin, then communicate that to the shuffle deck in his hand. That's not the way he does it. We want to make sure that no one can think he does it that way, so you're going to confuse his skin. Okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to write that and then decorate it. Now, I'm an old hippie, so I'd probably write peace signs all over there, right? But you could copy your tattoos, you could write kanji, you could write doodles, you could write cartoons, anything to confuse his skin. Do you understand that? Now, Gabriel, can you see my eyes? You know why? Because I paid extra for non-reflective lenses. Now, Gabriel, some people think, they really do, that Teller could see the reflection up here in my glasses. Reverse the image, the mirror image, read that card, and then communicate that to the shuffle deck in his hands. So you have to make sure that he can't see the reflection in these screens or anywhere up there or in my glasses. What is your non-dominant hand? Your left hand. Put your left hand gently over Teller's eyes, would you please? You have to touch him, I'm sorry. Right? No, Gabriel, don't put your thumb under his nose. This isn't like when you smothered grandpa with a pillow. It's a whole different thing, okay? Hold right there so you can't see. All right, Gabriel? Now, Gabriel, can you reach up there and just, first let me give him a little huff of the marker. You too, Don. And then Just write it right here. 2 pieces of information. Keep your hand there. Now, I was just decorated all you want. Go crazy. I like this one. Keep going, keep going. Make him fly home like that. Yeah, he's out playing tic-tac-toe. Perfect. Okay, keep your hand there. Keep your hand there. Jesus. You almost on the cliff. I don't know why tasting the cards would help, Gabriel. Stay on him, Gabriel. Stay on him. Stay on him. Stay on him. Stay on him, Gabriel. Stay on him. Stay on him. Stay on him. Stay on him. Stay on him, Gabriel. Stay on him. Now, stay there, Gabriel. Stay there, Gabriel. Stay there, Gabriel. Stay right there, Gabriel. And now, Gabriel, remember, you did not pick a card. You did not touch a card. You did not look at a card. You just thought of a card. And you decorated it so much it's hard to see. But I think you wrote the Penn and Teller card, right? The 3 of clubs. It looks just like that, Gabriel. That's Gabriel right there. Gabriel. Gabriel. That's Gabriel there. Gabriel. I'm with Penn Jillette and Penn and Teller. We're Penn and Teller. Thanks a lot. Good night. And again, Eddie Gorodetsky. I'm sorry. I said Eddie Gorodetsky. They didn't hear me. I said Eddie Gorodetsky.
We want me to come back out.